there in the woods. We'll slowly zoom out. As you can see, old Swilly here. He's doing a little filming. We ain't even made it down the highway yet to get to Mingo. That's where we're headed tonight. But we're gonna try to. We couldn't pass up the opportunity. This is a nice little buck over here. We'll zoom back in on him real quick. Oh, did he?
Well, I bet you if I'd have had a bow in my hand, I may have been able to
creep up on him.
just every time a loud car would go by, just move a little bit.
Yeah, he was just chilling, just sitting there nibbling on limbs and stuff. As he already disappeared?
He's right behind that bush.
Okay, I thought I lost him for a second on camera, so
I got some good pictures of him though. Let's continue our journey to Mingo.
Yeah.
Check out what kind of wildlife we got there. Usually, try not to take these little detours on these roads, but when you see a bachelor's group of
some studs
out in a bean field, you gotta go back. We hadn't even made it a mile out of town yet. I remember, it's funny, it's crazy when you talk to people, you know, this time of year, when these bucks are in bachelor groups, just how little people are like, man, I can't believe we're seeing that many bucks in one area. Man, if you ain't ever went out and looked at bean
Look out to your left. Just scan right there towards the edge of the trees.
Oh, well, there's some big ones?
Yeah. There's some studs, dude.
Alright, we're fixing to videotape these. Now, we're not giving you guys permission to go hunt these properties.
I don't even know who owns this. Hey, there's your access road right there.
This is an emergency video for right now when you see.
This is an emergency.
If you ever see any Akern Outdoors boys with their flashers on the side of the highway, you know what we're doing.
But you might want to stop and just check and see if we need to help too.
Yeah.
Oh, there they go. They're fixing to head out. They're heading.
I think they're just playing around.
Oh my gosh.
All right, get on them.
One, two, three, four. They're feeling kind of spooked. Five of them. Just chilling out there together. What an awesome shot.
Dude. That one's a
speed dandy. Zoom out. Alright, here we go.
Hey, I'm filming you, filming me.
Inception.
I don't know if you guys can see it on the GoPro, you can't. But we got good footage of these bucks out here. We hadn't even made it a mile out of town yet. Well, we probably made it a mile.
Maybe a couple, 3 miles. Oh, they just went into the woods. They're gone now.
And that one was a dandy.
He was a stud. So this is going to be a, I said while going on camera, it's going to be a long ride to Mingo if this is the way things are going. We got 30 minutes till we get to Mingo still.
Yes, sir. Man, this smoke forever. These bucks gets me all jittery when they come out in this bean field.
That's probably where they're headed. They're not headed yet. But
people probably think I'm just some kind of, think I'm drunk or something. Seeing all these bucks just swarming. Anyways,
it's distracting.
Stay wild. We may make it to Mingo. We may not before it gets dark. We got some good looks coming your way. Hey, them people are waving at us. They're like, them guys are on YouTube. Anyways, see you around. So we're heading to Mingo National Wildlife Refuge, which is in Plexico, Missouri, just outside of our home range. Yeah, but what Mingo is basically, I guess all of southeast Missouri used to be nothing but swamplands, and Mingo is still a preserve of natural. You're on the football field. On the football field. Besides the football field, it's all swamps. That's part of the job course. You can probably see it as we pass. There's the old heron sitting out there in the swampy.
That's a cool pick.
Alright. Check this out. Do you see the white-tailed deer right behind me? It's an old doe. I'm telling you, kids and adults, you have fun doing this stuff. There she goes. Just get out and sniff around on the old nature, you know what I'm saying? Doe. Work it, daddy.
Yeah.
Is my lens getting in your way? Does and little ones.
Just some more does.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Oh, he's out of focus a little bit.
See, hey, did he stop? No, he's up in the woods.
Oh yeah, why he's going. Yeah, so Ethan let me borrow his DSLR tonight. He got the big lens on there. And I'm glad he did, because we got some good footage of some bucks. And I ain't seen a buck since we've been in the refuge. Every buck we've seen has been right outside of our city limits of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. We get stranded, bit by a rattle-headed copper moccasin. Logan, did you bring your snake bite kit?
No, I didn't.
You're gonna have to suck the blood venom out. Hopefully I don't get bit on the butt.
Yep.
Well, we're driving through the big old town of Puxico. You may have seen the guy on the bow fishing video we did a little bit ago. Adam the Bearded Dragon. This is his hometown. And then they're having the biggest shindig of the year over here at the Puxico Homecoming. They got all kinds of rides. They got goat burgers. If you ain't ever had a goat burger, come over here. Come on.
Right over there.
I just rolled through that stop sign.
Yeah, you did.
But yep, this is where it's at. Alright, so we're on our way back from Mingo. We got a little bit of a drive. Thought we'd get on here and discuss, you know, if there's any kids out there that like watching us, following our adventures. I've had a lot of questions about, you know, what's the keys to being successful as a hunter? What are, you know, the things you need to look for when you're first starting out hunting or doing anything like that? You got any good tips or pointers over there, Logan?
The best fundamentals I've always found is stuff that my dad taught me whenever I was a kid. Like, just from being out, I wouldn't even be hunting. I'd just go with him and be in the woods, and he would teach me things as we were sitting out there. And he'd teach me how to walk quietly in the woods, how to watch your steps, trying to step on sticks and stuff. You know, avoid making too much sound to scare the game away. How to sit still and limit your movement as much as possible, so you're not, you know, just out there waving around scaring animals off, because their whole life is survival and eating and staying alive in those woods. So they anything that's out of the ordinary they think might be a threat is going to spook them off, and you might never see an animal if you're moving around or being too loud. Then he started teaching me how to read sign and like find rub lines and finding like droppings and stuff on the ground and seeing how if it's fresh or if it's old and dried up, you know, it's been there for a while, or just different things like that. Reading your hoof prints and things like that, finding deer trails running through the woods, just how to read the sign and tell what the deer have been doing in there, checking your acorn crop on the ground, knowing if the deer are coming in and eating those. So if you find a bunch of empty acorn husks or holes, you know that they're coming in there and they're eating those acorns out. So that's try to find you a good oak tree or something in the area and get some. That's what the deer is, their food source. So
yeah. I remember when I first started hunting,
checking for cover, where they bed at. You know, if it's a real thick area, they're probably bedding down in there.
Yeah, I remember when I first started hunting, you know, basically all I did was I'd go out there and find me a heavily used deer trail and just set up on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'll never
high traffic. You never know what you're gonna see.
But I mean, hunting ain't all about, you know, killing a big deer. It's about learning. I think every year it's crazy how much I learn just year after year, new little techniques, new little tactics. It's just all about their experience.
The biggest thing you learn as you go on too is the hardest thing I think I have yet to master and still learn about is playing the wind.
Yeah.
Your scent plays a big game into trying to go after and hunt white-tailed deer, and that nose.
That's what a deer lives or dies by.
That nose is killer. They got good eyesight and good hearing too, but that nose is something else.
Yeah.
And learning how to play your wind, using your wind directions, knowing if my wind is blowing this way, you know, if the wind's blowing this way, that's going to be putting my scent here. So you don't want to hunt in a spot if it's going to be blowing right where you think the deer are going to be coming from. Try to get it where, you know, the deer usually want to travel with the wind and they're coming into their face.
Yeah.
They like to have the wind blowing in front of them.
I remember a tip that I got told one time that kind of stuck out with me as an illustration. The deer are just like humans. They go to bed at night. Of course, the deer bed during the day too, but they go to bed and they go to the kitchen to eat. So you want to try to get right there in the living room, you know, or not the hallway. Try to cut them off from where they bed and they eat. That's going to be, I think, one of the biggest tips I've learned over the years is just how to get in that transition zone between bedding and feeding.
Learning how to read the lay of the land too is another tip.
Yep.
We left out.
Yeah,
there, like
topography.
Learning the topography and how, like, seeing your saddles and your pinch points and your ridges and the fingertip ridges coming off, and just different things like that. It's deer pretty well travel the easiest path they can unless they're pressured, but then they also, there's certain features of topography and things that really attract them.
Yeah, let me tell you right now, it ain't all what you see on the hunting channel on TV. It's cool, but it's not real life. Don't expect to go over a bean field every time and kill a deer on government land or anywhere really. I mean, a lot of the hunting channels, you know, they get paid to actually kill deer. So what do? They go to these
farms.
Yeah, they pay to hunt where they manage deer year round. And yeah, it's still cool that they kill big deer, but you know, if you're going out by yourself, don't get discouraged because the 180-inch buck didn't come out in the corner of the field just like he did on Outdoor Channel. You got to kind of
hunting public land deer is a lot harder than private land.
Oh yeah.
And because the deer are pressured more on public land, you have the interference of other hunters. There's just all kinds of factors that you can limit some of those things when you're hunting private land versus public land. And but I love chasing after deer on public land. It makes it that much more of a challenge. It makes it more rewarding when when you do get to harvest an animal. It's like so much more rewarding to me because it's like, man, I beat all those factors. You know, I beat all the variables, and now I come out with this trophy. Yeah. Even if it's not, even if it don't have to be a big giant buck, I'm happy to kill a doe off public land. You know, just that I went out there, did a little scouting, found, and you know, it's kind of a little personal win, and that's all hunting is really, just having fun and enjoying those little personal victories of every time you go out in the woods is a chance to learn something new too. And I found that to be true for as long as I've been hunting, that every time I go out I can learn something, whether I did something right or I did something wrong.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good YouTube channels out there nowadays that actually teach you a lot of good tactics about, you know, getting out there on public land and hunting. And the few I know I've learned a lot from is, for one, the hunting beast. He's got a lot of good tactics. That dude's hardcore. He knows his stuff, scouts year round, and he's got a lot of good tactics on how to get on. And then the hunting beast, or not, I just said the hunting beast, the hunting public. That's another good channel I like watching. They do a good job at explaining why they went to that spot, and why the deer was there, and why they met up and killed it. Or that they show also they don't always kill deer, and that's part of hunting. You don't kill it all the time.
That is another expectation you're gonna have to learn to accept. If you go out into the woods and you're thinking that you're gonna kill something every time, sorry to tell you, but that's not always true. Any real hunter will tell you that you're gonna have to have your failures before you have your success.
Oh yeah, but that's what makes the success so gratifying when it happens. You may sit 60 days without seeing a single deer, but the moment you do let the arrow fly, or the bullet fly, or the crossbow bolt fly, and you whack them, you'll know that feeling, because it starts at the tips of your toes and it goes all the way to your hair. And I don't even think your hair has nerve in you, but I felt it. And I'm going pretty bald as it is right now.
You got a message?
Probably some professional trying to book me, you know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because, you know, my attitude towards hunting, and I mean, just being a mature adult, just like over the top.
Mature? How mature are you?
Oh man, I'm maturer than an adult doe.
You might be grown, but I don't know how mature we are.
Anyways, I thought we'd take a little time and just kind of hit on some points of what we think about hunting.
Pass on a little advice.
Yeah. So that's what we did this whole thing for, is one, for you guys to enjoy. If you like watching stuff, sitting at ain't doing nothing, drink a cup of coffee or apple juice or whatever you're drinking, sit around the living room, watch us, have fun. Number two is just to actually teach something. So go, be safe, wear your helmets, don't eat crayons.
Well, the crayons aren't all bad.
Well, no, they do make flavored ones now.
Oh, do they really? I don't know.
If they did, I'd buy them.
If they did, I'd buy them.
Anyway,
All right.
stay wild, guys. See you guys later.